Black History Month celebrations continue across the Boston area with events that highlight and honor prominent people in the Black community. Tomorrow night, the Boys and Girls Club in Boston is hosting its first ever Black Leadership event to honor the outstanding contributions of Black leaders here in Boston that have helped shape the youth and community. Joining us now to share more details about the Black Leadership event is the president and CEO of the Boys and Girls Club of Boston, Robert Lewis Jr. First of all, thank you so much for speaking with us right now. Tell me more about the Boys and Girls Club of Boston's first ever Trailblazers and Torchbearers event in observance of Black History Month.
No, thank you. Thank you for having me. Part of this celebration is it's Black History, even though we'll say it's Black History Month. But it's how are we just sharing just the legacy of so many leaders throughout Boston that have set the path and have been the trailblazers on so many fronts, from academic, education, youth, science, and what we wanted to do is, well, how do we honor and celebrate people while they're alive? And to be honest, like to give their flowers while they're alive, but also for us to bring the next generation of young folks in, for them to be able to see the work and the leadership of those that came before them. So many of these folks have either been alumni or they've been affiliated with the Boys and Girls Club. So what we wanted to do is heighten and bring recognition and celebration. So we're saying we're not honoring any person in particular because we're honoring everybody that's attending.
I love that. And so this event is really a way to reshape how we honor Boston heroes, their Black leaders, and their contributions then?
Yes, absolutely. And it allows Boston to tell a different story of Black leadership. And this story is also around legacy for so many folks. And we want folks to understand, while also being able to see in person. We have over about 150 people that have already signed up and that have committed. We want to talk about Boston's legacy, Boston's history, but also part of the event is about Boston's future. So even though we talk about Black history, we're also going to use this about Black future and the future of Black leadership in our city moving forward. And it's actually bigger than our city. It's our region, our Commonwealth, and our country as well.
And Mr. Lewis, talk to me about what this means to you to kind of have this event that it isn't just about the history celebration, but it's an opportunity to spotlight the entire community's efforts in the leadership and everything that you're doing.
Yeah, it's a very personal one for me, seeing that in the 130 plus year history of the Boys and Girls Club, I'm the first African-American male leader, president, CEO of the organization. And for me to be an alum as well from the Boys and Girls Club, that means a lot to me. It means a lot in terms of letting our young folks know, as you're young and you're growing up and you're doing things, you're working your butt off, working hard, that your dreams and these opportunities, can be real and, and can really happen. So, for me, and I think of a lot of the folks that will be there, during this celebration, or mentors of mine, heroes of mine, folks that I looked up to, and that we're going to be able to celebrate, acknowledge, recognize them is very important. And it's very important to us at the Boys and Girls Clubs because 5 of our 8 clubs are located in Roxbury, Dorchester, and Mattapan. So for us to be able to celebrate in our community where we have the majority of our clubs is really a special moment. And I'm very excited that the Boys and Girls Clubs of Boston can capture this moment as we're pushing forward and celebrating Black history.
Absolutely. How do you think, or how do you hope this event will influence the recognition of Black leaders in the future, and not only in Boston, but as your young folks that you work with, as they spread their wings and they go into the great big world, they're going to take this to the communities where they settle?
Yeah, it's critically important. I mean, if you travel around the country, a lot of people, in particular Black communities, have their own perception or image of Boston. And like I travel, people ask, is there Black leaders in Boston? Is Boston racist, this, that, and the other? I think what this does for us, in this great way, is it really elevates, and I think it also helps to share a new story of Boston, a story of Boston, a story of leadership. And if you look throughout our city, the incredible leaders that are leading institutions, across our city, it will allow our young folks as they travel. We want them to be proud of being from Boston, representing Boston, but also that they know that they come from a place that has acknowledged and has celebrated and they appreciate it. The leadership that the Black community has brought to Boston, not just recently, but in its past. And like I said earlier, as we're moving forward in the future. So I think it's a special moment because this event helps Boston to redefine itself as a city that recognizes, acknowledges, and celebrates Black leaders in its history.
I love that. And part of my job, Mr. Lewis, is to get out into schools, talk about science, talk about the world, the natural world around us. And I'm always left after those type of visits just feeling so hopeful. The younger generation, as they grow up, they're going to do amazing things. How does this event tie into the Boys and Girls Club of Boston's kind of long-term vision of fostering that next generation?
The Boys and Girls Club, what we're doing, it's about talent preparation and development. We're developing the next generation of talent. We're developing Boston's future workforce. So what we're looking to do is not just educate, but make sure our kids are getting the skills and the resources that they need. We are developing the next generation of civic leaders and leaders from all across the sectors. So this is about equity, not charity. It is about equity, not charity. And this investment in our young folks, this investment in their talent, this investment in their dreams and possibilities can only be great for Boston's future. So, like I said, I'm privileged and honored every day to be the president and CEO of this organization and know that we have over 12,000 young folks that we are touching. That's going to make a difference in our city. So Boston future is going to be so much brighter because of the work of the Boys and Girls Clubs and other youth-serving organizations that represent this city of Boston.
You and your teammates at the Boys and Girls Club of Boston are doing amazing work. This has been Robert Lewis, Mr. Robert Lewis Jr., President and CEO of the Boys and Girls Club of Boston. It's really been a pleasure talking to you today, and good luck at tomorrow's event.
Thank you so much.